Hello guys and welcome to our film essay. First of all, I want to apologize for the bad audio since I recorded it in not a quiet place. But I hope you bear with me if there are unrelated back sounds in my audio. Anyway, let's get started. Ghost in the Shell 2017 is an adaptation to an animated movie with the same title back in 1995. The new Ghost in the Shell was directed by Rupert Sanders. It's about Major Killian, and later she was revealed as Motoko, an officer in an anti-terrorist called Section 9. She was tasked to track down a hacker by the name Kuze and try to arrest him. But in the process, she has glitches that she can't explain. And later, she found out that these glitches are her old memories and that she was a product of Hanka's illegal robot experiment. Surprisingly, Kuze turns out to be her old friend. And after that, Kuze and Motoko joins to battle Hanka with Section 9 team and tries to apprehend Hanka's leader, Mr. Cutter. Now, the plot is very different with the old ones. But nevertheless, there are one certain thing that we can agree on, which is the cyberpunk theme. The neon lights, criminal underworld, chaos, future. But what is cyberpunk? Well, cyberpunk is a subgenre in science fiction. It gained popularity in the 80s and even though it has been around since the 70s, it's filled with technology and nighttime urban life. But more to that, it is a thought experiment on how the world will be based on current world condition. And in today's world, technologies and our society kinda overwhelm our own existence. Which brings us to our topic. Space reflects identity in Ghost in the Shell. The old Ghost in the Shell took place in a fictive city called Port City. Lots of high-rise buildings, flooded streets, and rusty signboards. Those kind of things reminds you to one city, doesn't it? That's right, Hong Kong. The decision to use Hong Kong is based on the chaotic atmosphere that it gives. Lots of signboards, pedestrians, high-rise buildings, and the notion of old versus new gives it a sense of a distant future where past and future intertwine and technology dominates us. The looking down on the streets below from high-rise building gives a notion of loneliness and confinement. And more to it, after the interlude of cityscapes in the first half of the movie, we were shown the image of armless mannequin in the department store. The image emphasized more on Motoko's reflections of her non-human state. So it brings us to an understanding that Motoko is someone who is not just lonely, but also wondering her very own existence. Is she a being or mere object through space? Now, to be loyal to the original, the new Ghost in the Shell was shot in New Zealand and Hong Kong. But different to the old one, there were no flooded streets, and don't you agree the fact that you don't really see much pedestrian as much as in the old ones? Instead, the new Ghost in the Shell uses new things like sprawling overpass roads, holographic ads, multi-language signs, and some Japanese-related theme like robot geishas. Although it doesn't have as much screen time as the old Ghost in the Shell, these new things represent a new possibilities for what an ultra-modern city will look like. But enough with the city, let's talk about Motoko. Now, in the new Ghost in the Shell, Motoko was introduced as Major Killian. She lost her memories due to the previous attack by terrorists, and because of her memory loss, she began to question her own identity. To kind of give a clue to her identity, the new Ghost in the Shell used old Japanese house as her old identity. And her old identity was amplified more after she visits her mom and being shown her room. But it doesn't just stop there. She still have the dilemma of should she just go back to her old identity or accepting her current identity as half old, half new. To give a statement that she accepts her new identity, we were being shown a scene when she leaves the ruins of her former base camp after she battled with Hanka's spider robot, and the final sequence of her jumping from high buildings and blends with the surroundings. The use of space is very important in both scenes. One is the use of her base camp location to show her old identity, and the background in the end sequence to show her current identity, which is accepting her new identity while still connected to her past. So, What does these differences tell us about? The old Ghost in the Shell tries to depict an old style of cyberpunk city, like slums, chaotic city, nightlife, and an information overload life. While the new Ghost in the Shell, it depicts a recent takes on cyberpunk city and kind of an alternative answer to her 1995 self-finding problem. That's all from us, and if you want to add better ideas, feel free to comment. And once again, thank you for listening.